Hi guys, Ryan Wolf here, and this is even more cut Game of Thrones characters. Before we begin, this is part 3, and I will be going over 5 more cut characters, who they are, what they did in the books, when they could have made their debut, and why they were cut. And with that out of the way, let's begin. At number 1, we have Victarion Greyjoy, the brother of Balon Greyjoy and Euron Greyjoy. In the books, Victarion is Lord Captain of the Iron Fleet, and he leads the defense of Moat Cailin before Balon's death, where Victarion returns to the Iron Islands and tries to claim the Iron Islands throne for himself. Euron wins, and Victarion hates Euron so much, and he tries to plot his demise, but Euron tells Victarion that when Euron is king, Victarion will rule the Iron Islands. By king, I mean king of the Seven Kingdoms. Victarion is currently on a mission with a horn named Dragonbinder to tame one of Daenerys' dragons and bond it to Euron's side. And it's speculated that he will die there, but he is the main Iron Islands POV character currently. Victarion would have made a brief appearance in Season 2 and possibly Season 4, but he would have become a more important character in Season 5. This begs the question, why was he cut since he's clearly an important character? And it clearly wasn't a budget issue as he is in the Iron Islands most of the time. The likely reason for his cut revolves around the Iron Islands plot being repeatedly delayed in order to advance other plots to more central. Basically, Clash of Kings was split up into 2, and with only 4 seasons left, they needed to rush through certain parts, and they just didn't have room to cover Victarion Greyjoy's whole plot. And yeah, they couldn't cram all Victarion Greyjoy's and Iron Islands plot into 2 seasons, so they decided to trim it down, simplify it to Theon and Yara Greyjoy running away from Euron Greyjoy, who tries to convince Cersei Lannister to marry him. And I do think we missed out big time with Victarion Greyjoy, because he is a very deep and interesting character, and I think he could have been a fan favorite here. We missed out really badly. At number 2, we have Jane Westerling. Jane Westerling is Robb Stark's queen and a daughter to the Lannister bannermen. She's basically Talisa of the books. However, unlike Talisa, Jane isn't present at the Red Wedding and is present at the second siege of Riverrun, where she is interrogated by Jaime Lannister over whether she is pregnant with Robb's child. Jane doesn't respond, but but her mother says that she isn't, but it is clear that Jane did love Robb. There is some evidence to say she's pregnant, but there's also the timing doesn't make sense. I personally don't think Jane is pregnant, but I'm getting sidetracked. Jane would have appeared in seasons 2 to 3, and then reappear in season 6. And the reason why she was cut from the show is that Robb Stark was slightly rewritten to appear more on screen in season 2, and the romance with Jane needed to be throughout season 2 to drag out the plot with Robb Stark, and that couldn't happen because Jane would have appeared until episode 8 through 10, where he's taking the Crag at Lannister Castle where she's from. So they needed someone to appear more frequently in season 2 that Robb Stark would slowly fall in love with, giving us Talisa. And I don't think we missed out with Jane Westerling, as Olenna Chaplin, I believe that's her name, did a great job with playing Talisa, and the romance between the two was perfect. And number 3 is Penny. Penny is a female dwarf in Tyrion's main interest post Shae. Penny appears in the Dance of Dragons, where she helps Tyrion through Essos in order to get to Meereen and Daenerys. Penny joins Tyrion in Meereen, and she is present during the whole battle in Meereen. Penny would have appeared in seasons 4 to 6 and unknown after that. The reason for her cut likely has to do with the already stacked cast in Essos with Grey Worm, Daenerys, Tyrion, and Jorah, and Tyrion already. Oh my god. The stacked cast has to do with Grey Worm, Daenerys, and Tyrion and Jorah Mormont, and Tyrion already had Jorah traveling with him, so they didn't need another character to appear with Tyrion. Even then, she could have appeared in seasons 4 to 6, and then they kill her off in the battle, or write her out by having her hold Meereen with Daario after Daenerys leaves. We kind of missed out with Penny, but she wasn't an essential character, so it wasn't as bad as someone like Victarion Greyjoy. At number 4, we have Jane Poole. Jane Poole is Sansa Stark's childhood friend, and although she does appear in season 1, it's basically a one-off reference. She was a background character and forgotten about after episode 1, but in the books, Jane travels down to King's Landing with Sansa, and after Ned Stark's arrest, is given to Littlefinger. Littlefinger kept her as one of his whores in his brothel, only to later disguise her as Arya Stark after Robb's death and give her to the Boltons to solidify their hold on the north. Jane marries Ramsay Bolton and she is abused by Ramsay, and she begs Theon to help her out of Winterfell, and Theon does eventually help her escape and brings her to Stannis' camp. And if this sounds familiar, it's because they gave her plot to Sansa Stark, but I'll more on that later. Jane is on her way with a few others to the Wall in the Winds of Winter, and then she will likely go to Braavos with Justin Massey to get sellsword for the Iron Bank. There, they will bring word of Jon Snow's death before his resurrection, setting in motion Arya returning to Westeros. Jane would not have appeared in seasons 2, but she would have reappeared in season 5 and season 6, maybe possibly season 3 or 4. However, the reason for her cut in season 1 was her not being needed, and in seasons 5 to 6, we actually know why she was cut, and the reason why was to avoid and introduce all the Northern Lords necessary to fully do the plot justice, and the other reason why was that they needed a way for Sansa and Jon to reunite for the Battle of the Bastards, so giving Sansa's role to giving Jane's role to Sansa did the job. I think we slightly missed out here, and I would have loved to see Jane pull the fake Arya plot in the Game of Thrones show, but there's always fan content. Finally, at number 5, we have Quentyn Martell. In the books, Quentyn Martell is the son of Doran Martell, and he is sent to negotiate with Daenerys and bring her to Dorne. Quentyn sees the political situation in Dorne and Meereen, and Daenerys is displeased with him, possibly giving an explanation why for Dorne siding with Aegon, although that's completely different reasoning. I don't know why I'm saying that. Eventually, after Daenerys goes missing, Quentyn goes into the Dragon Chamber area and he ends up getting burned alive. And Quentyn would have appeared in season 5 and died in season 6, and the reason for his cut is simple. He wasn't a huge and necessary character. They didn't need to include him. I don't think we missed out with Quentyn Martell. That is all the cut characters, and geez, I can't believe it's part 3 already. If this gets 100 views, I'll make a part 4 on Game of Thrones characters. Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm going to include in that one. As a side note, we are so close to 75k views, sorry. Where I'll make a video on the life of Jaime Lannister, so thanks so much. I'll give an update on the 100 sub special now. I have gotten past the Secret of the Mimic section of the timeline, so I should be able to wrap up 1983 through 2023 in the FNAF timeline fairly easily. I would say a spring 2026 release date is what I'm targeting right now. However, until then, bye!